Today's program has been brought to you by Heritage Foods USA, the nation's largest distributor of heritage breed pigs and turkeys. For more information, visit heritagefoodsusa.com.
I'm Brianna Kurtz, host of Eat Your Words. You're listening to Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
We're talking about food. We're talking about music. We're musical dudes. Finger on the pulse. Snacky tunes.
Happy 200.
Happy 200, buddy.
I am one half your host, Greg Bresnitz.
And the other half, Darren Bresnitz.
And you're listening to the 200th episode of Snacky Tunes. That was just Roses, who are on a whirlwind Brooklyn tour.
No, they played Cake Shop
Oh,
last night.
and Brooklyn-ish. Ish.
That is straight Lower
Fine.
East Side, my friend.
Tour who will be live in studio. But first off, for our 200th episode, we really wanted to bring in two very special people. Our parents, Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thank you, and we're honored to be here for your 200th show.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So
crazy.
Yeah, so let's let's kick this off. Dad, let's talk about your cooking skills. You know, you were the one that cooking for us growing up. Yeah, cooked every meal for us. Yeah, liver and onions. Never forget.
A steep learning curve when I was younger, and then it kind of plateaued out once I met your mother because I didn't have to cook anymore.
Well, listen,
after that.
if you had your mother's cooking growing up and then you met Mom, you don't need to cook much.
Well, that's true, and my mother's still alive, and so she still can cook as well. So
that's me.
Between the two of them.
Yeah, and growing up...
Cheers.
Thank you.
Hold on, wait. I do love this one story that you have when you're working in the Catskills. Dad's Canadian, and INS showed up.
Dual citizen.
But not at that time. This is in the 70s in the Catskills.
True.
And INS showed up, right?
Sorry?
INS.
INS.
They did. And we ran out the back door.
So good.
Crap, it's the fuzz. But let's take a step back. Let's talk about both your moms were great cooks. Well, your mom was a great cook. Your mom is still a great cook, Dad. What were meals like growing up? What did you know?
Hot. Well, because I used to walk to school when I was in grade school, and I would walk home for lunch, like most kids. And I'd go home to a hot meal at lunchtime, and then I'd walk back to school for the afternoon.
And what were some of the dishes that Grandma made for you?
Oh, everything. Breaded veal cutlets.
So good.
Pasta ties with sort of a grain, a farfalle kind of thing.
I had that dish.
That was a pretty good one.
That was a good
Chopped
one.
up cabbage as well in the pasta.
Cholent?
Cholent for sure, but not necessarily for lunch. That was more of a
that put you to
dinner
sleep,
meal.
Right?
Scrambled eggs with red peppers and tomatoes, all kinds of different things.
So, and Grandma's from Hungary.
That's correct.
So a lot of paprika.
Yeah, I guess so. That's not something that strikes me, but I don't
remember Heritage
maybe
having a lot of paprika.
Not recently. Maybe when I was younger.
Yeah,
she's kind of lost her taste
lots.
buds in the last few years. So it's a little
So Grandma is also well known for this famous chocolate cake. When did that get introduced to her repertoire?
I can answer that. So in 1980, Dad and I took a trip around Europe, and while there, we found this Hungarian cookbook. And I brought it home. We brought it home as a gift, and I gave it to your grandmother, and she looked through it, and she said, "This is the chocolate cake recipe that I grew up with, and I haven't made it since I was, at home with my parents." And she started making it again because she didn't really have that recipe anymore. So that's when it started.
Oh wow, I did not know. That's really really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And also the famous cauliflower soup.
Oh my God, this soup.
When did was that always a staple?
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
Dad, do you remember the first time you had Grandma's cauliflower soup?
Sorry?
Do you remember the first time you had that soup?
No, I mean I
grew up with
You're
it.
talking about a long time ago now, But I think the best is, when I think about cooking, is really the nut cake. Not so much which she doesn't make anymore.
It's so. Okay, so it's a strudel in a way.
No, it's a cookie, almost like a cookie dough.
Yeah.
But
Mom's like, no,
it's not. It's not a strudel at all. So then she has this dough that she makes over 2 days. It has the seltzer is a secret ingredient, and then she flattens it out. She lets it rest. She makes it one day. She lets it rest in the fridge. Then next day she takes it, flattens it out, and she puts ground, and I mean really ground, not Cuisinart ground, but ground walnuts in one of those old-fashioned grinders, and apricots, and that's the center. And then she rolls it up and puts an egg wash on the top, and then pierces it with a fork so that it doesn't splinter and crack when it's in the oven. So it's a 2-day process, and you boys everybody witnessed it at Thanksgiving.
In fact,
Remember
I think you've made it. I think you've tried to make it.
I have not. I have not attempted it because we made it with her.
No, we made it with her,
Yeah, you
and
made it with her.
she kicked us out, more or less.
No, we were watching.
Once it got to the rolling stuff, that woman just was like, ugh, my grandson.
That woman.
That woman just laid down that dough so insanely.
Yeah.
It's so great.
And so, Mom, let's talk about your mother, which is where you kind of got your cooking education.
Well, I was one of 5 children, still one of 5 children. And
where are you from?
Brooklyn, of course, Ocean Avenue, Erasmus Hall.
And how
Brooklyn
many years
College.
did it take for us to live here to convince you to come and visit us?
Oh, Lord. I always said once I left Brooklyn, I wasn't returning. But now Brooklyn's such a hot spot, so I'm glad you guys are here.
We saw the tourists
and
on the
happy
street
and-
today taking pictures. That's unbelievable.
That Brooklyn's so hot right now.
Selfies on Bedford Avenue. Who would have thought? Anyway, in those days, Grandma Helen had to cook for 7 people, 3 meals a day. So everything was made from scratch. Unlike my English friends, since we were European, who ate Campbell's soup and all sorts of spam in a can.
Craft dinner.
Growing up kosher in Brooklyn meant that you just did everything from scratch, which my mother did, and it was a way for me to have some time alone with my mother in the kitchen, and she always put me to work. She taught me how to use the mixer, she taught me how to season, and she filled me with a lot of sentiments and expressions and habits. So you know how I always say to you when you're cooking, clean as you go.
Yeah.
So that when you're finished with all your chores, you sit down to a meal, you don't have to get back into the kitchen and have to spend an hour after you're exhausted cleaning up. So that's one of the tenets that she gave to me. The other thing that always reminds me when I bake today, and I love baking because of the time I spent with Grandma baking, is that when she would scrape the bowl, she would always scrape another as much as she could, and she'd say, "There's another bite for Dad, there's another bite for you, there's another bite for your sisters." And so I imagine her voice in my mind when I'm doing the baking and I'm scraping it out.
So did you guys feel that, and Dad, you grew up in Montreal, Mom, you grew up in Brooklyn, but being so first generation American or Canadian, did you feel European growing up, or did you feel American?
Well, I could say I felt more European than American, and especially with the dishes. On my side, they were Polish dishes, and the company that we kept. And a lot of my American friends would go out to eat. And at that time, you have to know that there were a lot of ethnic groups. So one thing that stood out for me was when I was around 10 years old, and I was having lunch with this girl in my class who was Italian, and every day I would look to see what she had. And one day she had eggplant parmesan on a fresh Kaiser roll from Brooklyn. And I said to her, "What are you eating?" And she said, eggplant parmesan on a Kaiser roll. What are you eating? And so we switched sandwiches because she was so tired of her eggplant parmesan. I don't know. I must have had sliced egg or something. and we were just so happy to switch. But yeah, it was definitely an ethnic experience.
Dad?
I can't say that I thought that it was any different. To be honest, I grew up in the household that I grew up in, so I had nothing to compare it to. I didn't really participate in, native or second generation households. So for me, that was what was normal.
Yeah.
And many of the friends of my parents were friends. Their children were friends of mine, so they had the same experience.
And they're all Hungarian?
Not necessarily, but they were all, war survivors.
Right. So, growing up in both Brooklyn and Montreal, a lot of storied restaurants. Do you remember the places you ate at growing up?
Oh, we didn't have money for eating out, and the only time we ate out was if someone graduated from middle school or high school. We would go to Jan's ice cream place, and everybody got an ice cream. But there was no money for eating out, and that's why Grandma had to cook from scratch and, make the dollar spread, and everything was made for home eating.
Dad, do you remember?
I'd say the same experience. We didn't really eat out much. Of course, if you have the kind of home cooking that we had, there was no real need to eat out much. I will say that when I got older and didn't live at home anymore, and especially when I began to earn money, that occasionally I would go to a Hungarian restaurant and realize that what I was ordering in a Hungarian restaurant was what basically I grew up with as standard fare for that we ate at home. It was only when I got older that I really began to, I had more money, that began to really or when I was living downtown by myself or with a roommate in Montreal, then we began to really eat out. But then was greasy spoon eating out, not fine dining.
Was that place Ben's?
There were various places in Montreal that sold smoked meat. Ben's was one of them. Schwartz's was another.
And
those are pretty standard, relatively inexpensive fare. Even today, you guys have experienced it yourselves.
I mean, eating at Montreal is amazing.
Yeah.
And now, how many egg rolls did you order that one time in college?
Well, when I lived when I was in medical school, because that's really when I lived on my own with a friend, we didn't have a lot of money. And we used to have money at the beginning of the month. We'd order meats from a butcher, and we'd get this whole package of meat. We'd freeze it, and then, of course, it would dwindle down by the end of the month. And by the end of the month, it was 7 cents a package craft dinners, that you can boil up.
Wow.
We'd mix in peas sometimes, and then occasionally where we didn't want to cook, we would order like 40 egg rolls, and each of us would eat 20 apiece.
That is so many egg rolls.
It's simple eating. Let's put it that way.
Now you two actually,
but it's healthy. You're talking about vegetables in those egg rolls, right?
Deep fried vegetables.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Now you two met at a resort in the Catskills, right?
The Nemerson Hotel.
That was pretty good eating.
Yeah, that was great eating.
How was it because you were working in the kitchen, right?
No, I was working in the dining room as the waiter.
As a waiter, right?
And I was a counselor.
And how were the staff? They would feed you staff meals?
Yes, there were staff meals, but they didn't necessarily give you as good as food as the guests did. But we always managed to, make sure that we ate as well as the guests did on the sly.
Yeah.
How would you I remember my first restaurant job here. I would palm steaks.
Yeah.
I would clear tables, and then I'd palm steaks.
We would hide the steaks.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to eat the steaks, but everybody basically stole the steak.
Yeah.
We would hide it and then would eat it after the meal somewhere.
I mean, you're shaking.
We would put the steaks in the server, in the drawer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I mean, my first job, they would, they would take 2 bites of a steak, and it was perfectly cut in a full steak, and with French fries, and be not wasting this.
Yeah, I would say that working in the mountains and in Catskills was when I, really was able to, as living on my own, was able to eat a lot of good food because, as a student, we didn't have a lot of money.
How much borscht did you have in the Borscht Belt?
None, I don't like borscht.
Mom?
Really?
Not too much. I'm not a favorite of borscht either, although my parents loved it.
So Mom, when did you start picking back up cooking on your own?
I always liked to cook, and your Uncle Mark always liked to cook. So the two of us were always cooking, and Grandma stayed at home until we were in high school. And then when she would come home late, she'd ask us to get the dinner started. So either I would cook or Uncle Mark would cook.
What was she working?
Yeah, she was a seamstress.
Okay.
She worked. And Uncle Mark does all the cooking for his family.
You want a latte? Who wants a latte?
Who wants a latte?
What's a latte?
Who wants a latte? Everyone want a latte?
Everyone want a latte? Yeah.
That machine gets used once a year.
For Thanksgiving. So what did you? What got you? When did you start cooking? Was it Polish dishes, or? I mean, you were in New York in the '70s, and there was a lot of new cuisines like Chinese food, things like that being introduced.
You know what? In the 70s, let's go back just a few years before the 70s, and we were kosher. So at about age 12, I said all these ice cream trucks would come around, and we'd eat the ice cream, but also a chow-chow cup would come around with Chinese food. And all my friends...
Chow-chow truck?
Yes. All my friends would get egg rolls and Chinese food, and I finally said one day to my mother, look, I'm done. I've got to taste this Chinese food. And she said to me, well, I raised you the best I can. Now you do whatever you want.
Wow.
Right.
Jewish, right? Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Egg rolls.
So
she went to egg rolls.
I had my first culinary experience from a chow-chow cup, egg roll in a Chinese truck, predecessor to the trucks that come around.
Yeah.
And
early hawker stall.
Early hawker stall. That was my first experience, and after that, I would save my money and try Chinese food or Italian food with my girlfriends, and we would, back then we didn't have really culinary food on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn, but whatever I could try, I would do. I would experience.
And so, what are some of the dishes that stuck out?
Definitely Chinese food, and any kind of Chinese food, and Italian food. Those were the two big ones.
Yeah, I always loved it when you used to make spare ribs.
Oh my God,
that was always a special night. Well, I remember you're making so many of them.
Well, once you start that process, you might as well make a few to last the next day.
Did you learn that in a course that I gave you?
So here's a good story.
Yeah.
So when Dad and I started living together in
What year
Manhattan,
is this?
1974, I got a wok, and I was really excited about doing all that Chinese food cooking, and I had this terrible cookbook. Most of the cookbooks I have taught me a lot, but this one was horrible. So after a few weeks of Dad being a good sport and eating all this horrible Chinese food, he surprised me at Valentine's Day with 6 Chinese lessons.
So sort of for both of you, right?
Right.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
I know, it was the best investment.
Yeah, here you go. I love you. You're
I
welcome.
love you. And since I know that you're not going to stop making this food.
And I'm tired of eating this crap. So Lila Khan is the name of the chef who had a cookbook, and we went to her West Side apartment. There were about 8 of us, and every week she taught us more. And the course ended with a trip to Chinatown, of course, to pick out the ingredients and know what you were purchasing. And then I really got on this Chinese cooking kick, and most of it was roasted pork and hanging spare ribs that you put on a large paper clip unwound. And in those days in Manhattan, we had gas stoves, so you could really hang it, let the drippings go into a pan, and
Wait, what?
Oh, you would stick a paper clip in the duck.
in the
rib.
and hang it from the rack on the top shelf, and would hang down and drip into a water bath that would steam it and collect the drippings, and that's how it
That's
roasted.
how it was made.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that?
No, I never realized that.
And you never made it. I mean, you just made it in the oven growing
Yeah.
up.
Well, because I didn't have the same kind of stove, so it was
God, this is always so good.
difficult.
So wait, when did you switch? Because growing up, when I remember when we were growing up, you were a vegetarian for a while.
I was a minor vegetarian for about 2 years, and that was the bleak part of my...
What was going on with that?
I don't know. I just decided that I should eat a little bit more healthy foods, but do you know how I broke that vegetarian?
I know the story.
Well, the good news is that we weren't actually
No,
subjected.
we were not subjected
No.
to it.
No, of course not.
No.
But after, I guess I was cooking a little leaner food, and one day Greg came home from high school and said, "Look, Mom, I'm hungry. I am like really hungry. And I don't mean vegetable hungry, I mean meat hungry." So I said, "Well, here are the cookbooks."
Greg, what were you doing that day?
I don't remember this at all.
Here are the cookbooks, and he just checked off everything he wanted to eat. So I said, "Just tell me what you want to eat, I'll make it." And
What was it?
it was mostly the Lila Khan's Chinese cookbook. But
do you remember how you broke your vegetarian?
yes.
Yeah.
So one day I had a roasted chicken that I was making for the family, and I was slicing it up, and the aroma of it was so delicious. I said, "I'm done with vegetarianism," and I just ate like half a chicken, I think.
So
In
good.
one fell swoop. That was the end of it.
Well, why don't we play
Well,
a song?
one thing about dinner that I have to say is I always appreciated that it was, I don't even realize growing up that it's a very traditional European, what you used to serve with salad. Like, it was coursed out, salad, main, dessert. It was crazy. Never
Yeah.
realized that until we started going to restaurants, and I was like, oh, we grew up with this. Always a balanced meal.
Yeah.
You usually don't appreciate a lot of things until you grow up.
No, but
Not just meals.
No, we appreciate it, but it's just. I will say this: I sort of wish that the last year we were at home with your cooking, we had not eaten so much terrible pizza instead of getting home cooking.
Greg wants to play a song.
Yeah, why don't we play a song?
welcome back to our 200th episode of Snacky Tunes.
Guest host, Mom and Dad.
Shout out.
Balkan
would represent. So, Mom, you've been making food for us since we were born. You made our baby food.
Where did that decision come from?
God.
God came to you in a dream and said,
No.
Fuck you, Gerber.
No.
Well,
you know how I told you that Grandma Helen never used any jarred anything. Everything was from scratch. So the thought of buying jarred food repulsed me. And I knew that whatever I put into your food would be what I put into it and no chemicals and whatever. So I just cooked what I cooked for Dad and me, and then
Threw it in a blender.
I threw it in the blender, and I experimented a little bit at a time and just started giving you wholesome food.
What did we eat?
The first food I gave you was...
Breast milk.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Was
I thought you said you weren't going to talk on this show.
Well, I wanted to be sure we were accurate.
Yeah. Okay, so
After that-
so we moved on to solids.
I gave you spinach,
Ooh.
and that you loved. To have a couple of pictures of spinach all over your face, which was cute.
Still
Which
eat
is
that
not
way.
any different.
Still eat that way.
And, of course, oatmeal and rice cereal,
Cream of wheat.
cream of wheat with
Raisins and brown
little-
sugar.
Yeah,
And a little bit
little
of-
stars. And
The stars.
Yeah, these little pastina stars.
Oh, yeah, right.
And chicken, and then beef. And when with babies, you just introduce one food at a time. Of course, fresh fruits. It never even dawned on me to give you anything that came out of a jar. It was never happening.
Right. But then why did you do it?
I did not do it, and I love the way you tease me.
And now you still continue to make jam.
Well, when I was about 21 or so, Dad worked with this doctor and his wife, and he had, I guess, 10 acres up in Ossining, and we went up there, and she had a couple of little kids and said, we're going out to pick some berries. So we went out to pick some berries, and she said, now we're going to make some jam. So she taught me how to make jam, and I've been making jam ever since, which is always a nice
Then you taught me how to make
feeling.
jam.
Yeah, it's
Now
great.
I know to can.
Fresh fruit.
I can do it.
And I need to learn.
It's so easy.
Thank you, Darren.
It's so easy. It's super easy.
Thanks,
It's
Darren.
super easy.
So, what would you say your favorite meal is to cook every year?
My favorite meal, as you all know, is Thanksgiving.
Is that a big deal in our family?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
What does it take?
in
A
our
couple
family.
days? Pull together?
Yeah,
I
it's
start-
crazy. It's crazy that you just started like Thursday morning and then
Yeah.
bam, it's
Yeah.
done.
I mean,
Right.
how long does it take to open up a can of cranberry sauce?
And pull
Love
that
it.
Purdue chicken out.
The
Yeah.
more difficult thing is opening up a canned turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a
Oh.
pita cochon.
Well, that's
Remember that?
What?
The
Duck.
the canned duck we got at a pita cochon with Uncle
Oh,
Murray.
yeah, in Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it was just
We've-
the thing is that the dish a pita cochon, which is M. Wells,
hard.
where people came from, it's one of the best restaurants in Montreal. One of their dishes is a canned duck, which it's an okay dish, but the whole thing of the show essentially they make a full duck and they put it in a can and then they open.
No. It's a duck breast, butterflied, and stuffed in the middle is foie gras.
But it doesn't hold a candle to Mom's turkey.
No,
Oh,
but
you're so
yeah.
kind.
But what they do is they
Sweet.
open that can on the table and they just dump it out. It's like a show dish.
Show.
All right, so Thanksgiving. When do you start thinking about Thanksgiving?
I think about Thanksgiving all year, and next week I will start to collect the blueberries for the blueberry cobbler and
So good.
and freeze those. And then in October, after the harvest, I'll get the pumpkin, and I will cook that, mash it, grind it, and put it away for all the pumpkin dishes that I make. Pumpkin pie, but mostly other dishes. And as soon as I look at all the magazines again that I have, new ones come out, as you know, Food and Wine, Bon Appetit. I go through those again and decide how I'm going to tweak it. Certain things remain the same. And then after the event is over, I think about what went well and what didn't go well, and I make notes and adjustments for the following year. So it's pretty much a year-long thing. But it started when I was about 15, when I finally recognized that Thanksgiving was a big deal in the United States. And I said to my mother, that we should also make it a big deal in our house. And so we started cooking it together with her stuffing recipe. And then every year we made it a tradition, and it's been going on ever since.
What's coming back this year?
The standard sweet potato pie, turkey necks. I always increase the number,
so
guys.
talk about turkey necks. Because these were
It used to be
one neck.
It used to be legs.
It used to be legs, but then it was necks, and Dad would eat the neck. And then I think we found out that he wasn't really saying anything about it, but it's the best part.
Well,
No comment?
Yeah.
Actions
No
speak
comment?
louder than words.
But when did you start getting the idea to cook the neck?
Well, I always cook the necks. Usually I would make the necks at a separate time during the year. We'd have necks for dinner. Do you remember that?
No.
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't remember having turkey necks other than...
I feel like it was like a
Thanksgiving.
few 3-4 years ago.
No, it's been a long time. And plus, we always like chicken necks. So it was a no-brainer just to make turkey necks. And when we go to the farmer's market, they sell turkey necks all year long, and Dad would often say, why don't you just pick up some turkey necks and make it? And so I use the same seasoning recipe
So
as
good.
the turkey and just make the necks, which
During the
has a
year.
lot of meat. Yeah,
During the
So
year.
much meat.
so much meat.
It's definitely
And really just delicious.
And the Whitehorns love the turkey necks.
It's a
anyway.
dish for friends and family.
Yeah.
It's messy. A lot of bones.
Yeah.
It's great.
You have to like
but
the-
meaty.
You have to like to eat with your fingers because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not something you cut into.
And it's not a shy dish.
No.
No, it's not a shot. If you're fastidious about eating and you don't like to touch your food with your hands, it's not for you.
No.
But of course, then you're missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or more for us.
So this year,
First off, you don't have enough necks and you don't have enough stuffing.
every year Gregory says there's not enough stuffing.
But I'm never wrong. That's the thing though, is I'm never wrong. It's
Look at, oh my God.
Well, the
look
good,
at the defensive you
the
just
good
got.
news is that most people don't want those necks so that they have extra necks to sell us. Because as far as I know, there are no turkeys that have multiple necks.
Protect your neck.
no, definitely not. I said I'd like a 16-pound turkey and 14 necks.
Not enough. It's not enough.
that's okay, but the stuffing is
No, because we always eat a couple the night before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because everybody comes over the night before. They want the turkey's cooked the
Right.
night before, so that's a whole other
Now,
story.
you've had 199 previous shows. Have you ever talked about turkey necks on your previous shows?
Yeah, I feel like every time we get around the
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving episode, it just
Somebody
comes up.
talks about
You know,
it.
or we bring it up.
I had turkey necks down in New
Wait, is that
Orleans.
a
Oh,
segue
yeah.
to be like, hey, if you want to listen to
New
old
Orleans.
episodes of Snacky Tunes,
But,
go to our podcast.
No, I had turkey necks in New
Thanks, Dad.
Orleans, and they season them the same way that they do crawfish.
yeah. How do they taste? Not
it was
great.
It was fine. It definitely wasn't seared, didn't have the same texture,
Yeah.
and it wasn't cooked long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all that
This
stuff
is
is
a
just you
slow
got to
cook.
cook.
I mean,
Yeah.
turkey necks have to be cooked for a while in
They have
order
to be
get
braised.
in order to be soft enough. Otherwise, it's stringy.
Yeah.
You done?
No, I'm just looking at the notes.
Okay.
So you guys just got back from a crazy trip. You guys have been traveling a lot, but you guys started traveling around Europe in the 70s, and I think you
80s.
in the 80s,
1980.
and you guys would just get a car and drive around with a bag of oranges, if I remember correctly.
And not exactly. In 19...
Quite.
Not even close, Darren.
Yeah.
You know,
Was it pomegranate?
four stories in there. But in
Nailed
1980, Dad got a job. We lived in Manhattan, and Dad got a job in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. So we knew we were going to move, and we took a 3-month vacation in between jobs, and we traveled around Europe. So,
Back when there was no euro and you had to change currency at every border.
yes, exactly.
And we
communist
traveled into Eastern Europe,
countries.
which were still communist countries at the time.
And you had lunch sitting next to some PLO members as well.
Oh my God, we shared a table with them in Romania.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not listening, I promise.
they're not listening. They're not listening.
No one's listening.
I'll put it, we have
Are you recording?
I'll put it, we have 6 listeners after 200 episodes, and those aren't the 6.
Yeah.
But wait, tell the orange story.
Okay, so we were in Italy on our way to Bulgaria, and before we passed the border, Greece on the way to Bulgaria, and before we went through the border, there were these trucks, and they were selling bags of oranges. So Dad and I always like to have something in the car to eat in case we're driving long distances, and you'd have something nice and delicious anash as an orange. So we bought this bag of oranges, and then we went to a place called the Rilsky Monastery in Bulgaria and met this docent of the monastery who happened to speak English at a time where most Bulgarians only spoke Russian or German.
Or Bulgarian.
Of course, Bulgarian. And so we chatted, and next thing we knew, she was inviting us to her apartment. We met her mother and her daughter, who were going back to Sofia. We were going to Sofia, and we said we'll take them with us. So we had these oranges in the back of the car, and they saw this sack of oranges, and we were noshing, and we offered them, and they said they would just share one, and we said, okay, but you could really have it. And when we got to Sofia, we understood why they were just aghast at seeing a whole sack of oranges, because at that time in Bulgaria, there was very little fresh fruit, and you had to wait in line at different stores for different things, namely oranges or milk or anything like that. So they offered us their apartment to stay in, and they stayed at a friend, and we left them a sack of oranges as a gift.
Tell the PLO story.
The what?
The PLO story.
Oh, the PLO story.
No?
Nah, I think I'll put that aside. That's
okay.
Too serious.
So serious.
Yeah, too serious.
So where is your cooking these days after all these years? I remember this one chicken dish that you made. Dad, obviously that question is not directed to you.
Yeah.
I still cook occasionally.
What do you cook? What is the last thing you cooked?
And what was the month and what was the year?
The Amish market chicken in the microwave is not cooking.
Yeah.
Well, I can make a good breakfast. I still know how to make an omelet.
Okay.
And toast and put out a good table, and, I'm good at that.
And Dad makes our lunch every day.
I make lunch every day before I go into work for Mom and I. It's a salad with either tuna fish or cut up chicken. I mean, you're asking me what do I cook or what can I prepare? Those are two different questions.
Yeah, we know the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done 200 episodes. We know the difference between cooking and prepare. I'm asking cook. What do you apply fire to that transforms one thing into another?
I'm not so much a at-home cook, but I'm an at-home preparer.
I can cook vegetables. And
what I can do is I can take your mom's chicken from the night before and cut it up and put it into salad that's already been separated for me.
If you live with me, you wouldn't starve.
That's true.
Okay.
Liver and onions. That's a good dish.
I think we've had that one.
Yeah.
So you don't like liver?
I like that dish.
No. Okay.
To this day.
Thanks.
Well, I still read Bon Appetit and Food and Wine every month. So I'm always cutting out these recipes and trying to make something. But my specialty really during the winter months is anything that can be braised for a long period of time. I just love the way the seasonings meld together, the way the kitchen smells, and the anticipation of that meal. That's really
there was
nice.
some chicken thigh dish you made a few years ago, maybe from Bobby Flay's cookbook.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Hold on, I just gotta say that chicken dish. I didn't remember what it was.
Wait, no. Let's talk about
It was
Mom's.
like 50 spices that you had to put together.
The 50 spices dish.
Yeah,
that chicken. I remember you left to go to the kitchen, and I turned to Dad. I was like, "Has Mom's cooking just gotten even better?" And Dad was like, "Yeah."
Let's talk about. Wait, no, but let's talk about your famous chicken and rice dish.
Oh yeah, the staple from when we were growing up that you would never.
Okay.
So we'll set the stage, but there's a chicken and rice dish.
So it's let's talk
That's
suburbs.
an embarrassment.
Suburbs, 1990s.
1990s. Mom
Tuesday night.
Mom would always make chicken and rice dish that we thought was like the absolute best thing.
Does not get better.
Does not get better.
If there's a better chicken dish in the world, I don't want to know.
And
about
she
it.
would never let us know what was in it or help prepare it. Because
my sister Rochelle, your aunt, got married at a time when Betty Crocker was in style. And all the women in her apartment building in Queens would get together and figure out the worst combination of ingredients they could put together to prepare for their husbands when they came home from work.
Best tasting food.
Yeah.
So this was one of the highlights of all these women in the building. They'd make this chicken and rice dish. So finally, after eating it for a while, my sister said, "Oh, you got to make this chicken and rice. This is so delicious."
Good.
So I said, "Okay, what's the recipe?" So here it goes. It's 1812 French onion dressing 1 can of apricot preserves. Well, jar.
What's the
one
size?
jar.
8 ounce?
8 ounces.
8 ounce, okay.
16 ounces of the dressing, 8 ounces of the sauce, and 1
Large packet. Lipton.
large package of Lipton. Don't choose anything else.
Yeah.
Lipton onion soup. You mix that all together. You put the chicken in it, and you let it. If you let it marinate overnight, even better.
Yeah.
And then you put it in the oven at 300 and let it just marinate to
great.
smithereens.
Oh my
it's
God.
so good.
And
but an
can
embarrassment.
I make the qualifier? Don't get low-fat French dressing.
No.
We've
Don't
tried it.
get we've tried to make just if you're gonna do this dish, and then you make white rice.
Yeah.
And
The whitest rice.
Oh my God, it's so good, and you can tell how bad it is because of the gel that when you put it in the fridge, it has this gelatinous
It's like
gel.
it's like a confit in a way.
Yes.
And I haven't, you know what though?
Yes.
I haven't made that.
I'd
in
go
such
for.
a
I know.
long
I'm
time.
thinking about.
I haven't made.
yeah,
I
your
kind
mouth
of
is
forgot.
watering.
I
Yeah.
kind of forgot about that dish.
How about that rabbit stew you made?
Oh my God! Tell the story of the
God.
rabbit
Okay,
stew.
so I think you guys were about 10. No, the 9 or 10, whatever. And I said to Dad, I think I'm really interested in having some rabbit, and the farmer's market's selling it. He said, well, let's buy some. So I bought some rabbit, and I made some French, probably from Julia Child's cookbook, French rabbit dish. And I put it on the table, and both of you were eating it and saying, Mom, the bones are all wrong in this chicken. They're sort of like
Kinda
not
small.
real chicken placements. What are we eating? And I said, well, just keep eating. If you like it, keep eating. I don't think I actually ever told you.
You totally
that it
did.
was
You
rabbit.
totally told us. It was rabbit. We didn't figure it out.
We had a pet rabbit a few years later.
Banyano.
Oh.
R.I.P.
right.
So, as we kind of close this out, any advice to us for our future cooking years?
Yeah, I just think you guys have a million cookbooks. Use those cookbooks, cook food at home, and bring a lot of guests to your house and make it an event, because eating out is eating out. That's great. But inviting people to your house, setting the table, and giving them food from the heart is a real special occasion.
Dad, any advice?
Watch what you eat.
Of course. Of course. Well, we love you guys. Can I watch it
Thanks.
and then eat it? Yeah. Yeah. We have Roses up.
Thanks,
Rose
guys.
up next in the studio, and we're going to play one more track from Snacky Tune Comp.
We're gonna play.
Reggie Watts.
Oh, so good.
So good.
Well,
Before you do
congratulations,
that,
guys.
Thank you for having us on your show.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
And, let us know what the listeners think about the show
Yeah,
once you're done. All 5 of them.
Sarah, Mike, Brian, Peter, and David, if you could just write in.
Well, I told some people that you were going to show, so we're going to send them the links. You may actually have a few more listeners this time around.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we'll get up to 10. All right, this is Internet Radio by Reggie Watts, done live at Snacky Tunes.
This is a song that I did a long time ago. And this is about people who have a difficult time adjusting to where they could go and where they could be. So, without further ado, I think I would like to take a chance to do this.
Hey. Yeah, what's up? I was just wondering, could you come? Yeah, to turn off the reverb. Okay, here we go.
straight across the foreign lines. You gotta realize what could be going on, yes. To give yourself a little bit of chance of knowing, yeah. And when you wanna take anything you don't know, yeah. 'Cause if you wanna take anything you don't know, yeah, yeah. If you wanna take anything you don't know, yeah. If you wanna take anything you don't know, I want you to imagine you wouldn't even believe what I've been seeing. So many people trying to make it all work all night long, yeah. But if I do the worst and make things better, isn't the negative just as important as positivity? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wanna take anything you don't know, 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 yeah. Oh, everyone stand along your line. Worry about the end of the way, I never know, yeah. And one word can change another time, yeah. But if you get tired of the everything I know, yeah, what you gonna say? Anyone's trying to be your friend, but now you wanna take. Anyone's trying to be your friend. I wanna be there. I wanna be there. Yes, I wanna be there. Yo, sometimes times get tough. Eating pizza, but you never get enough. Calzone sitting on a plate with a knife. What you gonna do when you get married, your wife? She always staring at you with those googly eyes. But never would you do it if you had to despise who you was in the first place. Listen, you gotta learn to accept the grace of the beauty of the rhythm and do anything that you see. You gotta put yourself down on one knee and tell yourself what you really doing this for. Is it societal pressure, whatever, you a whore? Listen, I got this up on the switch. You gotta do anything you can do, bitch. Cause you're using words just cause they sound and make you feel tough and shit, but you would never do this. Yo, yeah, come on, yeah, the radio, internet, radio, internet, radio. What you gonna, what? You wanna take anything you don't know, yeah.
All right, welcome back.
I love that song.
Yeah, that track is great.
Reggie Watts, hands down, one of the top. He was on the show and he just genius.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Watching him work live and build songs out of nothing is just. I'll put it this way: you're not always going to love what comes out, but you're going to respect the hell of it.
Yeah. So Roses, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. I thank you so much for fitting us in on your pretty light non-show playing weekend.
Yeah,
New
what
York.
a quiet weekend.
What a quiet
we're not
weekend.
doing anything.
Yeah, just hanging out at your pied à terre and just sipping rosé.
Yeah.
How many shows this weekend?
3.
Okay,
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was at the one on Friday at Death by Audio. Love that spot.
Yeah, it was fun. I like that place too.
Future Punks.
Yeah, they're
pretty
tight.
great.
Yeah.
Tight.
Pretty great. Well, one we've known each other for
Who's
a long
we?
time.
1,000 years.
Who's we?
Yeah, me and him.
Yeah, but say some names.
What?
Juan.
Oh,
Yeah, I said Juan.
okay.
Yeah, Juan. Yeah. Drinking a little too much. A little much too champagne.
Champagne.
We've known each other forever, from Ava Goda days.
Yeah. Wow.
Can't remember where we crossed paths. Or probably some Vice thing.
Yeah, that would make
forever
sense.
ago. So when Jamie and Sam said that they had a new project with you, we were like, yes,
Yeah.
please.
No, I'm stoked.
Yes, please. So do you guys want to go around the room and introduce? Well, I mean, we got one down. There's 2 more of you to go.
I'm Juan. Hi. I play guitar.
Hi, I'm Mark. I play the keyboard and I'm singing. I'm Victor, and I play bass.
I'm not going to say sad, but I thought you guys were going to wear your party shirts.
Oh, I have mine in the room if you want me to put it on.
We have all our clothes with us. You want us to change?
No, it's fine.
For the radio?
How did you guys decide on that look?
This look?
No, the party shirt look that you guys wear.
Because Victor has a lot of them.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Victor's.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of thrift store shopping in the South Bay where no one really thrift store shops, so I find everything.
Don't tell them.
Oh, no one's going to go.
They're not gonna go.
If they go all the way down there, then they deserve to get a few shirts.
You got a shirt.
Yeah, you're allowed, yeah.
Remember, we'd have to have listeners.
Oh, yeah. That's remember that. So what I love about how you guys met is that you traded mixtapes. I want to know what was on those mixtapes.
And what year is this?
Like last year.
Yeah.
I met Mark and through a mutual friend, and then we just like started talking about music, and then I just made Mark like a bunch of mixtapes. One was just like all like female singers that I like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then
it was like Mazzy Star and like.
Yeah. All like really romantic tapes.
Deep Mazzy Star cuts?
No, just like stuff I think he would like.
Yeah.
I wasn't being too show-offy.
And was it like with the intention of like we want to start a project, or was it just like I like this music, you might like this music?
Yeah, I just wanted him to hear it. Yeah, if stuff he hadn't heard, and like he showed me some like stuff I didn't know, and like some classical music that I don't know anything about classical music. So I was like, let's trade music.
Are you classically trained?
No. I mean, I took piano lessons.
Okay.
But not like.
That's fine. You don't have to be. We have a low bar at this show.
I think trained is a very strong word.
Yeah.
Mark's a very modest boy. He is pretty talented.
Victor
at piano.
steps in and says,
modest boy.
Yeah. So, Victor, were you doing tapes as well?
No, that was between them. But Juan would always like tell me about him. He put a Minutemen History Lesson Part 2 on it, and I was pretty excited about that.
What's
being from San Pedro?
What's Part 2?
That's just the name of the song.
Oh, okay.
It's
Usually
only
it's a Part
one,
2,
but-
yeah.
No, I was gonna say like that's. It's like there's not much.
That's great.
But so like, what was it that finally like made you guys click that we're like we should do maybe we should take this on the road or form something?
I guess I don't know. It's just like I wasn't doing any Vigoda stuff really, and I just wanted to play music. So then me and Mark like wrote one song together, just like dicking around, and then we're like, oh man, we should have like I wanted Victor to play bass, and kind of just like we just started like practicing and writing songs. It was like kind of, and then Vigoda stuff like we stopped like we decided we're not going to do anything anymore. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just do this now.
That's great. How does and to ask one Vigoda question now? How does a band break up these days?
No one knows that the band doesn't exist anymore until someone on the internet says that we broke up.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
But
there's no public announcement?
No.
Yeah, I mean, someone should probably start like a blog that catalogs like the official.
Yeah. No, we just like we kind of just we've done it for a long time. We kind of just stopped.
Well, you should, because then the clock starts ticking on when you can do a reunion show and make a ton of money.
Oh yeah, I'm sure people can't wait.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say there's some bands that have like reunited that you're just kind of like, you guys are getting paid a shit ton of money.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Define get paid a shit ton.
More than they made when they were a band
exactly
at that time.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. That to me, and it's all proportional in a sense, but like it's definitely if you make more than when you were actually together and trying, that's fine.
I'm super excited for the Blood Brothers reunion tour that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I think we heard about
too.
that.
Yeah, FYF.
Yeah,
it's going to be fucking incredible. Well, why don't we get a song so you guys can like get like stretch out?
Literally
yeah, I know.
on my knees talking to his microphone.
Yeah.
What are you going to play? What's the song?
What are you guys going to play?
This song's called Ghost Dad. At least for now.
At least for
Okay.
You guys remember that like theory that there was an actual ghost in the Ghost ad?
No.
Look behind the curtain.
I know about
No. That's 3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby.
Oh.
Yeah. Ghost Dad was just a shitty
Oh,
Bill Cosby.
I'm sorry. That's the documentary on the father after death. Yeah, I'm sorry.
One, two, three, four.
erupted sunlight in your eyes.
Summer vibes.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for LA because it's never not summer.
Yeah. Apparently it rained the other day. Fuck.
It's over. Say it's done. Just cut it off.
I mean, it's kind of insane that rain will, like, decimate your guys' city. Like, people, like, lose their fucking shit. Like, remember when it, like, I think it was last...
Ooh, that's a good lounge for this shit.
Yeah,
was it, like, last year or maybe earlier this year when it rained, like, heavily for a few days and, like, people, like, couldn't handle it?
Yeah, like, no one knows how to drive anymore. That's what happens.
Well, no,
people just decide, like, roads don't exist.
The roads are like so greasy that, like, because the rain never washes it away, that, like,
greasy.
Earlier this year it rained, like, slightly, like a little sprinkle, and I was, like, driving down Melrose and, like, I put on my brakes and, like, very gently, and my car drifted, like, over the grease for, like, 20 feet.
Tokyo drift?
Yeah, I Tokyo drifted into a parked car.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I think did you leave it
No, I talked to her. There's an old lady I talked to.
Oh, yeah. Can you turn the effects off?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
A little feedback.
It's probably not...
No, that's not it.
So it's probably
Who knows?
the speakers.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, you remember the snowstorm in Atlanta where they got, like, an inch of snow and people just got stuck in their cars because they don't know how to drive? I gotta say, LA is really having a moment right now.
It's been having a moment for a while.
Fashion, food, art. I heard this hotel open there.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty great.
But I mean, I'd say like the LA music scene is really popping.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, getting back into like playing with the band again and stuff. I'm like going to shows again, which is cool. So yeah, there's like I keep on finding more fun bands that we're like friends with and stuff.
Who are some of the bands that you're loving over there?
This band Post Life is really awesome. They're like kind of, you know, like bands like that formed like through like the smell and stuff. So they're kind of like weird poppy punk sort of.
Yeah,
and
I love how the smell's still like doing it.
Yeah, for sure. It's never slowed down.
Never slowed down.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. And yeah, this band Susan, that's really awesome. And we play with them a lot. And
wait, not the girl Japanese band. That's
there's a Japanese band called Susan.
The Susans.
The Susan.
Oh, the Susan.
Just Susan.
Just Susan. Yeah. And yeah, they're really
just
awesome.
Susan.
Just
okay?
Susan.
Not Susie or Susie Q.
Susan,
just Susan.
Period. Yeah.
Actually, that'd be a good band name.
Just Susan.
I think that's the new buzz name. We got the Susans, Susan, and just Susan.
Yeah.
Just Susan.
Don't get it mixed up.
Don't get it twisted. That's great. That's so awesome. And our shows, LA shows, is it like to 2 a.m. or is it more like New York where like it sort of goes like midnight?
No, they're like, yeah, shows are usually done pretty early, I feel. Like usually, yeah, by like midnight. It's not too crazy, not super late. Especially the all ages ones.
So what's your first weekend been like here?
What's the response been?
I don't know, it's been fun. It's really hectic and crazy, but fun. I don't know. The Death by Audio show was like
Yeah, Friday night was really fun.
great.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was like our favorite show so far of the two.
Of the two.
Well, you got to pick one.
It was unexpectedly, I thought like Summer Friday was going to be a little less rambunctious, but it was pretty nutso.
Yeah, no, I had no clue what to expect because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, like, I haven't played a show in New York or really been here for a while, so it was glad people still came out.
Did you get any food in? Did you hit any favorite spots?
Oh, what have we been eating?
We had pies and thighs, which
Oh,
is...
that was good. Yeah.
Chicken biscuit is still one of the... Man, it used to be $5. I think it's $9 now, but it used to be like
I think it was
$9.
No, I think it was like
$7.75.
$7.75.
Okay.
I mean, that's
still pretty cheap.
It's
for
cheap, but from $5 to $7.75, that's a pretty serious jump.
For sure.
Serious jump.
Yeah.
That's one less chicken biscuit a day.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that place is great. Should we maybe get another song?
You want to do Jambers?
Yeah.
Get a song?
Yeah. I'll do a little Jamboni.
Yeah. Jamborone.
I know there's a little bit of delay between the stand up and between. What's this one called?
Yeah.
Is this 3 Men and a Baby?
It is actually technically another movie title, so.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Oh, it's true, yeah. We only name our songs after movies.
Oh my god, I love your t-shirt, by the way, the Clueless one.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Don't refrain, I love you.
Tight. Sweet.
Really awesome.
Some serious shredding in there.
Thanks.
Is that the rat pedal?
Yeah, it's the Rat and this cool big amp that I brought in. Marshall half stack that I brought.
Yeah. I didn't think that we could fit this many stacks
I've
inside.
never seen a double stack.
It's crazy, but I think it's like exactly what we need for this space.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in here.
That'd be really funny if a band just bought those like hip amps that the crazy dudes in the subways use.
Yeah.
And that was their only gear.
Yeah. I thought you meant hip, like cool.
Yeah, like you just like
I legit thought
that'd be really funny. You just like wear it on your hip and you just like have like a
What about like or like the cigarette pack amps?
Yeah. Those are tight. Oh, was the same? Oh, no. They
No.
look like,
Obviously, they're different. We're experts here.
Okay,
we know
yeah,
they're
no, I
different.
don't know.
Yeah,
Can I just say one thing? After 5 years, it blows my mind how Packard Burtis is.
I know.
It's like absolutely bananas. Your pizza, by the way, your pizza's coming.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, thanks.
Oh no, your pizza's here.
I'm on the ground.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. If you guys,
You want to bring that
Oh, I
pizza?
can
in?
see it.
Yeah, they're super hungry.
Yeah. So, from your strong love of female-fronted bands and ballads, I kind of want to get to understand, like, what covers are coming in your sets?
Well, we've already done like a cover of a female. We did a Sinead O'Connor cover.
Which song?
It's called "Jump in the River."
Okay.
It was on the Married to the Mob soundtrack.
Oh, of course, that classic. God, that was a '90s movie, wasn't it?
I've actually never seen it. But yeah, we did that.
I just have the soundtrack.
Yeah, I just listened to the soundtrack seems pretty tight. The cover's cool.
That would be a thing, right? If your whole the only music you ever under a soundtrack.
That'd be tight. Just John Carpenter and stuff. So now I'm eating and talking. Really disgusting.
You're doing. This is a classic.
What's what happened?
Classic Snacky Tunes moment.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
actually, most bands. I'll change it. Most bands don't eat until after they perform.
You said, "Fuck it," you're playing right in the middle.
We're hungry.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I know you're hungry. I'm hungry too. So
Wait, so what else? So Sinead O'Connor, but I mean, seriously, I mean, for banding over the love of mixtapes, like, you guys could really kind of like...
you guys could cover some muffs. That would work pretty well.
The Muffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I used to work with I think guitar player Ronnie.
They were cool. What happened
Yeah.
to them? I guess the '90s ended.
No, they actually just put out a record. They got back together and have a record out.
Oh,
Wait, did
The Muffs, right?
did the clock start ticking and they're like, it's time?
It's time, yeah.
Veruca Salt just put out a record.
Yeah.
And they're on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
mid to late
time.
90s.
It's time. Mm-hmm. It's time to start checking.
I would
the
love to
sketches.
know the shortest gap between breaking up and reunion tour, since they're just so prevalent these days.
9 Inch Nails.
Really?
They broke up and like a year and a half later they started playing.
Did they really break?
They broke up. No, they said they broke up.
That
Trent
doesn't-
Reznor played like a final show.
No, that is
That's
Trent
what they
Reznor. But his
They.
nails. Yeah, they. Trent. Yeah, Trent. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
Okay, Trent. Okay. God.
What would like an ideal like '90s reunion band be for you guys to like open for? Like the
Ooh.
yeah.
Unrest. Well, I like Unrest. I want Unrest to get back together.
Okay.
That's me.
What do you think, Mark?
I'm trying to think. Probably.
90s Weezer.
I'd say the Rentals, but they just got back together. But I want to play with the Rentals.
And this is like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Primitive Radio Guys. Is good. You know, this is the second we saw the Rentals. We saw the Rentals
At Best Buy. At Best Buy Nokia Theater.
Best Buy reunion, and it was pretty bad.
It was
like
they
pretty-
hadn't put out a new album. It's just they'd been on. It was that really weird tour.
Because they did like slower, like acoustic-y things.
No, the band was there. I still love that second album. That second album is.
But still, it was just one of those things where it's like I don't really understand what's going on. Yeah,
totally.
Like yeah, it's like I guess someone. But now they're on their second one, and maybe second. No,
It should be
third
good.
time's
I
the
think-
charm.
I
So
think Lucius is touring with it, like in the band, playing with them.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy.
really,
Yeah, he's got a good lineup.
okay. Well, we want to make sure we got time for one more song, but we want to thank you guys for coming out and fitting us in on your busy schedule. You guys. Well, I guess
It's the pizza. That's the other thing I've learned in 5 years. They'd be like, I don't free pizza. Like I'll be there.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be there. Well,
Yeah, thanks for the pizza.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course. Thanks to Mom and Dad for coming by.
Greg, it's been a pleasure.
Darren, it's been a pleasure.
Here's the 200 more.
Cheers to 200 more.
Yeah, we'll see about
that would be a decade of
That would be a decade.
A decade. And
a decade under the influence?
Couple things. Make sure to check out Snacky Tunes Volume 5 live. If you go to the Heritage Radio Network SoundCloud, you can get that and all the first 4 comp, which are actually also available for download or streaming, whichever your preference may be.
And come out to our final barbecue of the season.
Yeah, Wednesday, August 13th, or a few days from now. It will be NY Sushi Co.
Yeah, doing ribs.
And Yus from Copenhagen.
I'm so excited to see him.
It'll be great to see him.
It's BBQ Blowout, August 2014.eventbrite.com. And Greg, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And
thank you to everybody. Thank you to all the bands, the chefs, the guest hosts, Heritage Radio, Roberta's, all the engineers.
Yeah, it's been great.
Everybody.
And Roses, thanks for thanks. This is great.
Guys, this is fun. No, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the name of the last song?
Leonard Part 6.
The Gods Must Be Crazy.
This song's called Julian March.
Oh, thanks for listening.
We gotta, I think, we'll be back next week, and then we're going to be in LA for FYF.
Oh yeah, are you guys gonna be out for FYF? I mean, just hanging. Yeah.
We can get in.
I mean, yeah.
You guys can sing us.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we are with us. Okay, great. Liz, thanks so much.
Thanks, Liz.
Jack, Joe, Rectech, Aaron, Patrick. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. All right, guys.
Take us out.
Yeah, bye.
New Century.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we live in a time we can't realize. Yeah, we live in a time we can't tell the real from the Do you think of your life as a success? Do you think anyone really cares what you read anymore?
talk about food, we talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archive programs on our website or as podcasts in the iTunes store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us questions anytime at info@heritageradionetwork.org. Heritage Radio Network is a 501c3 non-profit. To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.